You know what? We can do this. By that I mean that we can discover what we need to discover to understand ourselves, our mental health, human nature, and how it all relates. We can do this to understand how to feel better, how to do better, how to understand ourselves better, how to understand our emotions better, how to get along better, to relate better. We can do this. There's been a lot of discoveries in mental health over the past several decades, and there continue to be. That's what this channel is all about, from my particular perspective, to share with you a whole bunch of discoveries in different parts of mental health, human nature, and actually how it relates to the nature of reality, which I'll get to later. But anyway, that's the point of this channel. This is the introduction to all the episodes that will follow. And I wanted just to tell you a little bit about the channel and myself, in case you wanted to see that before you start exploring some of the issues that we'll discover and discuss here. So they are basically, again, discoveries in mental health, human nature, and the nature of reality, because they all relate. Believe it or not, they all relate. You may have done some studying this already, either as a professional or as a person just wanting to learn more. And there are, again, a lot of discoveries going on right now in the world of science, in the world of psychology, mental health, biology, and even cosmology that can put it all together. And I hope to be able to help in that process of all of us working together to understand ourselves better together, to actually love each other more, to be involved in mutually loving and caring relationships to the very best of our ability, which is extremely possible when we discover how to do that. Let me just talk briefly as a background of myself, professionally, personally. So I am 58 years old. I live in the Mid-Coast, Maine area. This is my office. You can see there's a birdhouse here. I love birdhouses. They're all throughout my office. You can see going down different things on the wall that I love, have been given to me by people or I bought, or my wife took photographs of, or things. At the end, it's art on the door that my kids made when they were younger. They are teenagers now. So this is my office in Rockland, Maine. Rockland is a city, quote unquote, in Maine. It's a city of 7,000 people, so really it's not technically a city. But it is for here, because in rural Maine, or rural parts of the world or the country, it's a place you might call a city. My town is 1,300 people roughly. So anyway, we live on the coast, right, literally on the Atlantic, and this is a half hour away from there. My kids go to school here. So this is my office where I see patients, whether individually or as couples, maybe as families or as groups. I'm a licensed clinical social worker or psychotherapist, and I've been doing it for about 20 years. I also teach at the University of Maine in the Masters of Social Work program, and sometimes online, sometimes on site. But I love teaching, I love working with students. I've been doing that, I think, around 15 years. I do other things in the community, including being chair of the school board here in Regional School Unit 13. Love that work, it's fantastic as well. Trying to help in any way that I can our wonderful staff and our district figure out how best to grow minds, because that is our job in schools, is to grow minds. And there are two places where minds are grown, at home and at school. And we both have ominous responsibilities that we need to take incredibly seriously and work well together on. So those are my three jobs that I basically do on a week-to-week basis. The focus of my practice as a psychotherapist has been relational work, or how to learn how to best get along together, and emotional work, how to understand our emotions, what's going on, especially as they relate to depression and anxiety, which are the most common experiences that are clinically significant. I also work directly with people on adult attention deficit disorder. It's a really bad name. Basically, ADD is this combination of gifts and challenges, and helping people understand all that. I work specifically on anxiety, difficulties, and panic attacks, panic disorder, because they can be best understood and best treated if in fact you understand what's going on. Also work with people who've been through trauma, all different kinds of trauma, And probably that kind of work and depression, anxiety are what most of us in psychotherapy help with, as well as self-discovery and self-understanding. So this channel will focus on 4 major areas of discovery, or at least that I know of right now, 4 major areas of discovery. There might be a possibility of iBooks that I write and publish and put into the iBookstore that will cover the same things. I'm not sure yet, I think I will, but basically this channel will be covering the 4 different areas. They are, again, relational and emotional discoveries. Again, understanding how best to do relationships, be in relationships, mutually caring relationships, how best to understand your emotions, what they are, what's going on, how naturally they are, how you don't need to fear them or dread them. You need to just be with them and work with them and know that they're there for you in a very functional, productive, healthy way. We're going to talk about anxiety and fear discoveries, again, understanding that anxiety and fear, actually fear is a very normal response. We need to have it or we're going to get hit by the truck coming down the road, but we don't need to have clinical anxiety. There are ways to treat that, to change that, to reduce the fear response to something that is extremely manageable. The one thing that I think that's very true as well is that we are the only animal that has panic attacks and panic disorder, so that can be entirely eradicated for you if they're occurring. It takes a lot of work and understanding, but panic attacks, in my opinion, can be cured and eradicated, eliminated from your life. And for people who experience them, that's a very big deal. The 3rd area of discovery are attention deficit disorder discoveries. Again, I don't like the name. It's basically a regulation difference of the mind, been going on since we've been around on the planet for 200,000 years, probably. We'll be talking about that, but ADD, just real clearly, ADD, attention deficit disorder, is this combination of gifts and challenges that if you know what's going on, you know how to take advantage of the gifts, and you know how to address the challenges. They're very particular, and people have different minds in the world. It's called neurodiversity, and this is just one of the differences, and it's not a disease or an illness. It's ridiculous to think it is. People are saying that all the time. It is not. It certainly does create challenges that you want to address, and also gives you all these gifts you don't realize you have. And finally, we're going to be talking about the universal law of existing and how that relates to our caring nature. And that's a long discussion. I'm not a physicist, I'm not a cosmologist, but I've been studying a lot about our mental health, our human nature, and it has to have a relationship to the entire natural world, the entire universe around us. There has to be a connection. We'll be talking about that as time goes on and how there might be a connection that we can discover together and help us really know all about us as well. Next, the structure of this channel is basically going to be me here in this office and talking about different issues with some graphics and other videos going on too, but that's going to be the basic structure of the channel. Sometimes I'll be doing special sort of features outside in different parts of life, nature, people, and stuff. But basically it's going to be right from here on a weekly basis, posting videos on a weekly basis on discoveries, again, in mental health, human nature, and even the nature of reality and how it all relates together. That'll be the format. So I'm very much looking forward to exploring these discoveries with you. The name of the channel, or what I'm working, is called Discovery Solution. And discoveries are how we best understand ourselves, and solutions are let's find solutions for us as human beings within those discoveries. So welcome you to this. Look forward to speaking to you, interacting with anybody in the future on these topics. And yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks. Talk to you later.